As you know, I love the London Underground. In fact, half of my videos on here are about tube trains, so I like to think I know quite a lot about the topic. This makes me quite opinionated about how I feel of each of the 11 lines, so today, I'd thought I'd unscientifically rank them. I also realised that you, my viewers, probably know a thing or two about the Underground. So this video might cause a stir. If you disagree with my rankings, make sure you tell me why in the comments. And if you're new here, or you just haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you do that as well as giving this video a like. As much as I appreciate every tube line, one of them has to take last place. For me, it's the Hammersmith and City line. As much as I love S-Stocks and the Moorgate to Edgware Road section, this line just piggybacks the Metropolitan and District. It didn't even have its own colour on the map until 1990. Oh, and this line runs every 10 minutes, so you'll often be sitting at a station watching 3 District line trains go by before your train arrives. Next, we have the Waterloo and City line, also known as the Drain. This could be called the newest tube line, as London Underground only started operating it in 1994. I rank it this low as it only has 2 stations, so I rarely have an opportunity to use it, even if it is a convenient link. Also, the line only runs on working weekdays, so you can only use it on 253 days of the year. However, the line is just straight up weird and silly, so the novelty factor means I just love riding it. Sticking with the theme of 1992 stocks, next up is the Central line. I have a love-hate relationship with this line. I love the 1992 stocks and some of the stations are pretty nice, like Redbridge and White City, but the line is just packed all the time and it bleeds your ears in some sections, and I've never liked the branch to Ruislip. I find the stations boring, and honestly, I've never been excited to go to Hanger Lane, believe it or not. In 8th place, we have the biggest liar on the Underground, the Circle line. First of all, it's not even a circle, more of a spiral, but that's a story for a different video. Like the Hammersmith and City, this line piggybacks on the other subsurface lines. However, it is much more useful to me than the Hammersmith and City. Plus, I actually like nearly all the stations on the line. However, with the line's frequency, it sometimes feels like winning the lottery getting a Circle line train in the next 5 minutes. Next, the Jubilee line.
Willesden Green.
This line has a great mix of architecture, with the modernist section north of Finchley Road and then the 1999 Jubilee line extension, probably the most out there architecture on the network. The line is fast and convenient as well, but I have 2 gripes that won't let it rank higher. First, why is it so far from every line at every interchange station? I'm looking at you, Waterloo. Second, why is it so loud? I think I need ear protection if I'm taking it from Canada Water to Canary Wharf. Now we move on to London's working train museum, the Bakerloo line. I love the 1972 stocks to bits. 53 years old and still running is an impressive feat for an underground train. Some of the stations are also pretty nice, Kilburn Park for example, but the frequency always seems to be against me. Whenever I'm in a rush on the Bakerloo line, I turn up to see an 8-minute wait for my next train. There goes my connection at Marylebone. Maybe it's just my luck, but if I have places to be or trains to catch, I'll choose another line. Next up is probably my favourite line for the actual stations, the Piccadilly line. This line has some of the best stations on the network, most of which were designed by Charles Holden. The line is also pretty quick if you're going west, thanks to the fast section running to Acton Town. However, like the Bakerloo, this line also feels cursed against me every time I need to get to Heathrow. All I get are Uxbridge and Northfields trains, and then when I actually need the Uxbridge branch, all I seem to get are Heathrow trains. At number 4, we have the Victoria line, the most efficient line ever. In my 18 years of living in South London and using the Victoria line pretty often, it has failed on me just 2 times, so I can basically guarantee that the line will work as intended, and there will be a train within 2 minutes. My complaints about this line are how hot it gets in the summer, how noisy it can be, and how narrow and crowded the platforms feel at peak times, but the speed and reliability makes up for it. Now we enter the top 3. Our 3 remaining lines are the District, Metropolitan and Northern lines. In 3rd place, it's the Northern line. This line goes everywhere it feels like, mainly down to the 2 branches through the city. Also, the architecture on the line is lovely, especially south of the river. There are some super interesting stations like Clapham Common and Kennington. But my favourite section of the Underground is found on the line in second place, which is the District line. The section I'm talking about is the Wimbledon branch. I love so many stations on the whole line as well, especially Earl's Court, Chiswick Park and High Street Kensington, just to name a few. Like the Northern line, this line also goes everywhere, which is handy, and the frequency in the central section is normally pretty good. However, the same can't be said for the Western branches. It feels like these branches often just stop working, and no trains decide to show up. Oh, and the line's reliability is laughingstock sometimes. If you're going eastbound from Earl's Court, chances are you'll end up at High Street Kensington the moment disruption hits. Finally, that leaves the best of the best, the one that started them all, and also the one that happens to share its birthday with me, the Metropolitan line. Everything about this line is great. The destinations, the trains, the stations, the main line's frequency, and how fast it is, especially at peak times. I just love being able to take a tube train from the city centre of London to what feels like the middle of nowhere, aka Moore Park or Chorley Wood. That's all 11 lines ranked. In case you can't remember, here's my final ranking. Make sure to tell me what you think of it in the comments, or just tell me your favourite line and why. If you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a like.